Good morning, I'm Maddie Jansen, and this is the podcast of 17 News at Sunrise. It's everything you need to know to start your day in about 15 minutes.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. Right now at 5, turning off the lights again. PG&E and SoCal Edison officials say they're preparing for more public safety power shutoffs starting today. We'll show you the areas of Kern County and the possible outage zones.
Gut-wrenching numbers show dozens of kids are abused every day in Kern County. But there's something you can do to become a voice for these children.
Game 1 belongs to the Nats. The World Series underway, and the underdogs come out on top for the first game. What's ahead for Washington and Houston as the battle to become world champions continues? Today is Wednesday, October 23rd, 2019. Good morning. Great to have you with us. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher. I heard that they were like the biggest underdog since like 2007 or something like that.
Yeah,
so this is really cool.
Keep in mind that the Nationals had a 0.1% chance of making it to the postseason in May. So yeah, I think it's safe to say they've come a long way. And here's another interesting fact. They have not lost a game since beating the Dodgers.
Wow.
Earlier this month.
Right,
so their streak is 7 right now. So they've got just a few more wins until they're champions.
All right, well, we'll have more on highlights from last night's game coming up. But let's get the highlights of today's forecast.
Never say never, that's for sure. Yesterday, it was a warm day. We had 82 degrees, so slightly above the normal of 77. And as we take a look at the temperature out there right now, 59 degrees, no winds to talk about at this time. And we'll start out in the mid-50s, 76 by noontime today. And by 3 o'clock, we're looking at 83. Into the mountains, 37, a calm wind out there for you. And as we take a look at the wind forecast, I don't expect it to be too bad as we progress here throughout the afternoon. But you can see by 9 o'clock, we'll start to see some pockets of winds increase around the area. Starting out in the upper 30s, lower 40s today, and then we're looking at mid-70s this afternoon. And you can see by 3 o'clock, a light wind out of the southeast at 10. This does all change as we head into tomorrow. I've got more details on this coming up in just a few minutes. But first, let's get a check of the morning commute. We'll send that over to Alex.
All right, Kev, thanks so much. And taking you outside for the first time this morning to the 99 near 7th Standard, and it's looking pretty clear on that side of town. Because it is 5 a.m., that means that a lot of construction projects around the county are starting to wrap up from their overnight work. And sometimes it can take a little while to clean that up. So be mindful of that if you're headed out the door within the next few minutes, especially if you're going down the 99. Other than that, it's all looking pretty clear. We'll have another check coming up in about 15 minutes.
This morning, we're following a deadly accident that happened overnight. It happened just before 11 p.m. This was in the southbound lanes of Highway 99 near Palm and Oak Streets. The driver of a box truck collided with a big rig. The cab of the box truck completely crushed in. The driver trapped inside. That driver died at the scene. No word yet on the condition of the driver of the big rig or what may have caused the crash. We will keep you updated. The numbers are gut-wrenching. On average, 41 Kern County kids a day are referred to Child Protective Services for cases of neglect and abuse. Some cases lead to the death of a child, with 6 reported in 2018.
And that's why we want to tell you about how you can be a voice for these children. And 17's Vanessa Dillon joins us this morning to explain so important.
Good morning. Well, it's an issue Kern County has prioritized for decades. Since 2010, over 40 children have died as a result of child abuse. According to a recent report, we've seen a decrease in these cases, but the numbers still disturbing, prompting officials to raise awareness and encourage the public to report suspected cases of child abuse before it's too late.
The devastating truth is in the numbers. 6 children died as a result of child abuse in 2018 alone.
A lot of times it's, it's a moment of anger for that parent, but we need to remember that these little ones don't have a voice.
Many would argue anger is unjustified, yet stacks of cases leading back to 2010 point to the prominent issue. Over 40 children have died as a result of abuse in Kern County since 2010. But Tom Corson, executive director with Kern County Network for Children, says there's a decrease in cases since 2008.
We've seen a 48% decrease in substantiated abuse in Kern County compared to the state, which is 28%.
The decrease perhaps attributed to those who advocate for the voiceless and report cases of abuse and neglect. Corson also says the Kern County Prevention Program, known as a differential response, has also assisted over 8,000 children.
We want to figure out a way to keep your family whole. And since we've implemented that program countywide, It's really made an impact.
Yet about 41 children were reported to CPS every day last year, an astonishing number that calls on everyday people to step up and say something if they see something.
We lost 6 children last year to abuse and neglect. They died all under the age of 5. 20 kids wound up in the hospital with either severe or near fatal injuries. We still have work to do, but as a community, I think that we just need to keep being the voice for our kids, because a lot of these kids go unseen and unheard.
Now, if you suspect a child has fallen victim to abuse or neglect, you can call the Kern County Child Abuse Hotline at 631-6011. Reporting in the studio, I'm Vanessa Dillon, 17 News.
Thank you, Vanessa. This morning, PG&E is expected to announce possible power outages that could go into effect later today. It's estimated around 200,000 California households could be affected. That includes some in Kern County. These shutoffs sparked by dry and windy conditions across the state. John Lawrence has more.
A Los Angeles neighborhood getting back to normal after Monday's wildfire threatened about 200 homes and scorched dozens of acres.
We were out, sitting in the patio, noticed a smoke cloud coming up over the hill.
Crews in the Pacific Palisades area were able to get the blaze under control in just over 10 hours.
They saved the house, great firemen.
But now other parts of the state are bracing for wildfires due to high winds and dry earth. Earlier this month, these same conditions led utility companies in the state to cut power to nearly 800,000 residents for safety concerns.
But we are expecting it to be the second strongest offshore wind event of the season thus far.
Officials say anytime power shutoffs are necessary, residents will be contacted well in advance by texts, emails, and phone calls.
Fully understand the impact of not having electric service. We fully understand how disruptive that is to all of you.
And more wildfires and outages are expected throughout the rest of wildfire season.
Well, we're looking at potentially another event this weekend, Friday, probably Saturday morning, Sunday.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
And PG&E says 75 homes and businesses could lose their power in Kern County. Those areas include Bakersfield, Arvin, and Lebec. Meantime, Southern California Edison has notified more than 13,000 homes and businesses in Kern County, mostly in the Tehachapi and Kern River Valley areas, to be prepared in case of a possible public safety power shutoff.
The men accused of killing 5-year-old Kason Guyton are scheduled to appear in court this morning. You may remember Jeremy King was arrested late last Thursday. He'd been running from police for more than a month after it was announced he had been indicted in Kason's killing. The other suspect in this case, Jonathan Knight, was arrested last month. Both are being held without bail and both have pleaded not guilty. The two are expected to be tried together.
One game down in the World Series as the Nationals play for their first possible win ever.
And they're off to a pretty good start. Highlights of last night's game coming up.
And we'll take a look at your weather forecast. Winds expected to pick up, but when? Details next.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News with Maddie Jansen, Alex Fisher, and Kevin Charette with your Pinpoint Doppler forecast. This is 17 News at Sunrise.
And the World Series underway and a pretty big victory for the Washington Nationals last night.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are nailed to their TV screens right now. I mean, we've got a Bakersfield boy and that catcher, that bullpen catcher.
Cool.
So exciting news for them. Sorry for you Dodger fans, but
here's the thing, though. I have to say, I think it is neat because, although we lost to the Nationals, they went to the World Series. So
if they win, that means that they're the best, and we're, I guess, second best. But we'll move on from there. But it was Game 1 of the World Series last night. The Washington Nationals are fighting for their very first World Championship, while the Astros could have their second in 3 years. The Astros got on the board early, bringing home 2 runs in the first. The Nationals take one back in, and the second as Ryan Zimmerman hits a single home run. Top of the 5th, it was tied at 2 apiece, and the Nationals would bring home 3 more. The Astros manage another 2, but Washington holds on and takes Game 1 The final score was 5-4. Game 2 is tonight in Houston, and we all scored because, we get some free tacos now. The Washington Nationals weren't the only big winners last night. All of America won a free taco. This comes as a result of Taco Bell's Still a Base, Still a Taco promotion. Nationals shortstop Trey Turner swiped second base during the first inning of the game one of the World Series, which this is the 5th year in a row everyone won a free taco from the deal. You can pick yours up on October 30th between 2 and 6 p.m. Good deal right there, free tacos. The CSUB men's and women's basketball teams look ready for the 2019-2020 basketball season. The annual Blue-Gold scrimmages were held last night at the Accardo Center. It's a little fun and freedom before the season starts, and it's time to crack down. The women's basketball team was introduced. You can tell they had a lot of fun with it. And then it was a 3-point contest with Deja Harris coming out on fire. She nailed her first 4 attempts, and she'd go on to win the competition, making 13 threes total. An exciting return for Harris, who's had 2 knee surgeries and was known for cutting to the paint and scoring, kind of inside, but not necessarily her outside shooting. Looks like things may have changed in the offseason. And the night is really about giving players a chance to show their personalities, to shine a little bit and excite fans. And the men's basketball team did just that. They had fun at introductions as well. They held a short dunk contest, which they really didn't need to hold because the entire scrimmage was a dunk fest. Player after player was just throwing it down. The runners were having a great time. The programs open the season November 5th in a doubleheader. Coach Greg McCall and the CSUB women's basketball team tip off at 5 p.m. against Cal State Dominguez Hills. Coach Rod Barnes and the CSUB men's basketball team take the court at 7:30 just after. I mean, this is great. I know that they're trying to get fans excited. They're trying to get players to have a little fun. It's a great way to kick off the season. Mm-hmm. It was free for fans to come. And, I was watching some of the little kids there, and they were pumped up. They're excited to be there. And that's what it's all about,
So cute.
It was a really good night.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Tab.
Mm-hmm.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Best Buy is helping shoppers make a quick buy. The retailer will have free next-day delivery during the holiday season. This service is available for nearly all customers and includes most items. Heavy items like refrigerators and big-screen TVs are among the exceptions. Customers outside of the next day zone will be given free standard shipping on everything. No membership or minimum purchase is needed to take advantage of the offer.
Some security experts exposed how Amazon's Alexa and Google's Assistant were vulnerable to hackers. Security Research Lab says it found third-party app developers had access to customized user voice commands. That opens the door to eavesdropping and could allow passwords to be stolen. To demonstrate, they posted a video on YouTube showing how an app could trick a user into saying their password out loud. Both companies told CNN the security issue has been fixed. If you'll be shopping for jewelry anytime soon, you should know about something catching on in the diamond business. Lab-grown diamonds. They're as real as diamonds from a mine, but cost a little bit less. Will they work for you? Here's money expert Stacey Johnson.
Created diamonds offer more for less, not a compromise, but you're buying something that's physically, chemically, optically identical. It's certified by the same exact certifying agency that says it's a diamond, with the only distinction is its provenance. They came from above the ground instead of below the ground.
This diamond distributor is talking about a revolution in the diamond biz. Lab-grown diamonds, now starting to hit mainstream jewelry stores. Although they cost 20 to 50% less than mined diamonds, make no mistake, these aren't fakes. They're real and indistinguishable from mined stones.
So here are 2 diamonds that are similar in eye appeal, similar in size. This one, the lab-grown, will cost you $8,000, and this one, the mined diamond, will cost you $17,000.
Lab-grown diamonds are sending shockwaves through the jewelry industry. Some jewelers have already announced they're not going to carry these things. Others, like this jewelry store, carry them as an option. But should we really care whether your diamond comes from a lab or from a mine? As it happens, some buyers not only don't mind lab-grown diamonds, they prefer them.
They might want a lab-grown diamond because they want to get more bang for their buck. Also, if they have eco-friendly concerns, they want to leave a smaller footprint, these diamonds are sustainable and eco-friendly.
You may not find a lab-grown diamond at your local jeweler today, but more than likely, it won't be long.
Now we're at a place where it's ready for prime time because, first of all, the quality is good enough, the supply is starting to emerge, and more than that, the consumer is, I think they want to get more value for their money.
So, what's your take? Would you spend the extra money for a diamond that was mined versus one that was made in a lab? You might have to make that decision sooner than you think. So how about a little more information and you can weigh in yourself? Go to MoneyTalksNews.com and just do a search for diamonds. For Money Talks News, I'm Stacey Johnson.
Money Talks is brought to you by your local consumer credit counseling service. If you've got debt problems or just want some free budget counseling, call today.